Nice.
Damn it! I hit record right before he said that. It didn't start though until after he said it. I was really hoping to get that on.
Would have been good
air.
to use and cut it into one of the Dolphins talking points or something. Gotta take a salmon out of it.
Hold on, I gotta take the salmon out of the freezer. What does that even mean? Is that a euphemism for something, or is he actually taking salmon out of the freezer? That's what I'm wondering.
We'd have to let our followers figure that
out. Dude. Oh man, that's so funny. I really wish we were recording that the whole time he was. What were you saying to me? Oh, he can't hear yet. Put on your damn headphones. What were you saying the whole time? Were you talking to me the whole time when I couldn't hear you?
Yeah. Well, I just kept saying, "Can you hear me? Can you hear me?"
I was looking at. I couldn't see you because I had something up on the screen. I was looking at sound effects and stuff. That's why it's so funny. When I came back, you were like, "What?" Oh man, dude!
Is Bobby coming on or no?
No, I couldn't get him to.
Wow, he finally gets invited, and he can't find time for it.
Well, he didn't answer me, so I wanted to.
Oh,
all right, guys, welcome in to the first ever episode of To the Whistle, and that's what I'm calling it.
To the whistle?
To the whistle, baby.
Can we take a vote on this?
Like play to the
we
like
will take a vote on that, and I'm voting no.
Play to the whistle. Come on, that's clever.
Through the whistle. Championships play through the whistle.
It's play to the whistle.
No,
and
not if you coach, Ben. It is
play
you play
through the whistle.
You want to play as long as you can, hit as long as you can, keep going as long as you can, not stop as soon as you hear it.
Yeah, like Jameson Williams. You don't, or what's his Jameis Winston? That's his name. He doesn't believe in the victory formation. He plays through the whistle.
Yeah, you play through the whistle. I thought it was play to the whistle, and I'm pretty sure I looked it up. Maybe that's why there's no podcast with that name. To
the whistle.
I was like, hey, it's totally open. We can totally use that.
Wet as a whistle.
There you go. Oh, yeah, wet the whistle. Yeah.
I think to the whistle is a good one. Through the whistle? How about the whistle?
Dude, do any research about playing through the whistle, and you'll see that I'm right on this one. All the hardcore championship teams, all the coaches who want your team to get physical, they say you play all the way till the end of the whistle. Don't stop at the beginning. Just finish the play.
Only the championship teams.
Cambridge.
They don't write about the losers.
Well, look, that is very true. There aren't many stories that. Well, I mean, there are some good movies.
There's Rudy,
written about losers.
Yeah, there's a book here. There's a book here called "Playing Through the Whistle: Steel, Football, and American Town."
Okay,
through the whistle. But
this is the Cambridge Dictionary. Play to the whistle. That is right here. It's actually in.
I bet everybody who goes to school in the 2000 cents says it your way.
Play to the whistle, meaning used to say a football player that should continue to play until the referee blows the whistle.
Well, see? Cambridge sounds English.
Yeah.
Right. So that might be soccer football.
Oh, that could be soccer. Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't know.
And considering the way they're doing their soccer over there now, since Sydney's coaching is trauma-informed soccer coaching, you have to take everybody's feelings into account. They probably don't do it the way I'm saying it.
What does that even mean? Trauma.
You don't know she's doing that? Yes. Last 2 seasons, the football team is trauma-informed coaching. So basically, yelling at the kids, telling them they did it wrong, ask him why he felt he didn't win the ball and how they can figure that out. Dude.
Oh, she's coaching children.
These are like 12-year-olds.
Really? Well, those are children.
Yes.
Yes. Children. That's still considered a child.
She tells me about it. I go, man, I'm glad you enjoy it. I'm really, I don't say that, but man, that sounds horrible to me.
It's a lot different than when we used to coach. Although we weren't like yelling and screaming at the kids, but still, it's a lot different.
No. Yeah.
You used
it's the new participation trophy.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh man, dude. Yep. So, gentlemen, how are you? How you been? How's since I talked to you last? I haven't talked to you guys.
Oh, are we recording?
Hell yeah, we're recording.
Oh shit! You can't use any of that I just said about City. Cut that out. Start over.
You gotta be shitting me. This is not what I signed up for. I signed up for hitting record and going, and that's just what we're talking
It's all
about.
right. Everything's good.
Sydney's an adult. She's, she
knows.
understands.
No, dude, I'm kidding. She knows I love her. She knows her way of coaching. Doing this is not the way I did it. And we've had many discussions about her coaching since she's been there. It's all been positive. So I'm just joking.
It's a new type of coaching. There's bound to be pushback. There's bound to be, learning curves and new ways of doing it, and
Yeah, I heard these days they actually play until a minute before the whistle.
Excuse me, guys, the whistle's coming. Don't be scared. It's going to come down in 10, 9, 8.
Take the whistle. Stop.
So that's that. They're not even playing to the whistle. They're playing before the whistle.
No.
Oh man. So yeah, how's
I love you, Sydney.
Don't worry, she won't be able to find this podcast. We don't have a name for it yet. So.
Yeah, that's good.
We can't agree on how to say the name. So.
Through the whistle to the. I just thought it was clever. What can I say?
How about it's just the three of us actually whistling? That's the title. Find us, I dare you.
Yeah. So, anyways,
I've asked you.
Yeah, it's good. I've had a great week. Kids are back in school. Holidays were great. I'm getting some work done in the shop. You guys have been kind enough not to mention the fact that I'm missing a tooth. It looks like I played hockey this week. So I got a little dental thing going on. So I'm just waiting for my I went to go do the dentist. I called the dentist on Monday, and because the tooth fell out last week on like the 2nd, right? And I was like, oh shit, this sucks. It's just a post though, so like they should be able to glue it back in.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, I called the dentist, and they're like, yeah, we're out of town until the 8th. So I've looked like this for a week now. I called them yesterday, and then all of a sudden they said, "Oh, our air compressor's down." So now I have to wait for their air compressor to be fixed, and now I still look like a pirate.
I wouldn't even have noticed, brother. You would have been good to go.
I didn't notice either.
Yep.
Okay, well, it was nice of you.
And
maybe you mentioned it.
No judgment when it comes to teeth, dude. We got
maybe
the Conroy teeth, and it's not our fault.
Maybe the microphone's blocking it. I don't know. But.
No, you're good. Although it would make smoking a cigarette really convenient. Right, stick it right in there.
I thought about doing the straw thing for the kids. Put the straw through the hole and suck up the.
Nice.
No,
Nate, how you doing?
Doing good. Just got back a couple of days ago from our trip to Texas. That was fun. Spent some time with family. Watched football. They didn't have the football package there, so I had to log into my YouTube TV, and I guess they never have football or any kind of sports on in that house.
Oh, really?
Melody found what she calls a winner, which is she picked a winner, somebody that doesn't watch sports in her eyes. So.
Good for her. Good for her.
It's good for her. I was actually watching back our podcast, on her couch on my iPad, and she said, you can put that on the TV. And I was like, oh, really? I didn't want to bother anybody. It's not a topic that people care about. We're just talking about fantasy playoffs. She's like, I don't care. Just put it on. I'm just reading, on my phone. I said, okay. So I put it on the TV, and then about 5 minutes later, she said, but can you turn it down a little bit? So forget about it. I'm putting it back on my iPad. I guess we're more annoying than we thought. So,
that's. I guess if you're not into fantasy football, then I guess if you wouldn't want to listen to it.
We are definitely an acquired dislike. I get it.
Yeah, that's for sure. I'm excited to be home for a few days, and then next week I'm taking off again for Puerto Rico, so I'll be there for another week. Just a lot of travel this early part of the year. In fact, I've already got flight booked for San Jose, not the one in Puerto Rico. Now it's dawning on me that they're both San Jose.
I was just saying. Yeah, that's funny.
Yeah, the flight logs, they're going to think I made a mistake. Did you mean to book 2 different trips to San Jose in 2 different parts of the world? No, but Sean and I booked our flights up to go watch the, hopefully the Niners will play in the NFC Championship game. We're being proactive. We already booked our flights, our hotels, everything's ready to go. The only thing we don't have is tickets yet, and of course, the Niners haven't punched their ticket yet either. So
I like the
Nice.
optimism, though. I like the optimism. I like that you're making those plans in advance. I was just thinking, though, wouldn't that be funny? Like, if the San Jose thing, like, people like want to go to every football stadium or every baseball stadium, and they're like, I'm going to hit every San Jose across the world. I'm going to just keep booking.
I'm just going to find all the San Jose's all around the world.
Sorry,
I'm just going to tour
I
the
bet
San
you'd be in
Jose's.
South America for a long time.
I've been hitting my pen a lot. Sorry, guys.
It's probably it's probably like Main Street, like to them.
Yeah,
San Jose. There's a million of them here.
While we're on the topic of the 49er game, I know we are being overly optimistic and we're booking in advance, which is sort of what you have to do.
Yeah.
If you want to get decent seats, you kind of have to book these things in advance. You get full refunds if they don't make it. But check this out. I thought this was kind of cool. I just texted to Sean yesterday. So in our main league, Sean won $1,200.
Yeah.
Okay. He won. He split the pot with Alex for $1,000, plus he won $200 for winning his division. Right.
Chop chop.
In all my leagues across the board, if you take my buy-ins and my winnings, I didn't win the big one that I was hoping for, the big $3,000 prize. I ended up getting second in that league, which was only $1,200. But my net profit this year was just over $1,200, so I won like $1,244 between all my leagues. Sean had enough airline miles to get us free flights
Whoa.
up north, and I had enough points on my Marriott account because of all my travel to Puerto Rico that I was able to get us a free hotel that's walking distance from the stadium. We're using our $1,200 that we won in fantasy, and we're making a cap of $1,200 tickets. We're enjoying a nice free weekend to the NFC Championship game.
Wow.
Using fantasy winnings.
That's cool.
That's awesome. Yeah, it's very cool. Very, very cool. Oh man, dude, that was a rough game last week. Speaking of 49ers, and I thought Sam Darnold played okay. You know what I mean? I thought he had moments where he played. I mean, they barely lost. I mean, they didn't get blown out. You know
he looked
mean?
better. He definitely looked better when all the weapons were out there. When Debo and Ayuk were out there, he was slinging it. And that first drive. Yeah, in that first drive, Shanahan's famous for scripting the first drive, right, the entire thing. So I'm sure they practiced it. It's like a dance routine, right? He's just doing a choreography.
Yeah.
Right. So that first drive, he did look good. As soon as they pulled the weapons, which of course, I mean, what quarterback is going to look good with no weapons?
Exactly, man. You're killing him at the end of the game. You're texting back and forth at the end of the game. You're killing him. And I'm like, bro, he's throwing these passes. These guys are dropping the ball. That's hitting them in the fucking hands, and they're dropping it. It's like
let's change it up a little bit. Have you seen enough that we should re-sign him next year as the backup?
Yes. And by the way,
I agree, 100%.
Just to respond to Ben, I wasn't killing him. I was making a pun on his name. I was calling him Sam Darnold.
I know. That's killing him in my eyes.
And the teams that he played on before, he didn't have a lot of weapons either. So it is the same Darnold, right?
Yeah.
But I was mostly making a reference to the fact that he's got those happy feet in the pocket, right? He drops back and he doesn't go through the read progressions, which I get it. He's playing with lesser weapons, so maybe they're not open.
Yeah.
But you don't even see his eyes go across the field. He drops back at the end of his drop back, and he immediately darts out, and he's seeing ghosts. He thinks there's somebody behind him when there's not. So that's something that Sam Darnold's going to have, basically probably his whole career. I don't know if there's any way.
I mean, he did
that.
like the one that he fumbled at the end of the game. I thought was that kind of thing. Yes, the helmet. He hit it on the helmet of the guy coming up behind him, so he was avoiding him. But I thought he might have had an opportunity to throw the ball there, and he kind of scrambled. And I think that's why he fumbled. But
let me answer Matt's question though, because Matt, to answer that question, you have to say what are the other options, right? They made a bunch of comments on the broadcast about how Sam Darnold was going to be a high in demand free agent, which I don't believe. I don't think anybody's going to go out there and sign him as a starter. I think he's, if anything, somebody's going to
Kirk Cousins or Nick Mullins, or can he be Nick Mullins?
Yes, he could be Nick Mullins.
Could he be Kirk Cousins? Could he be Daniel Jones?
No. I don't think he's as good as Daniel Jones.
Okay.
I think what his the best role for Sam Darnold, and take him outside of the Niners just in general for the rest of his career, I think he's going to fit into that role where he gets signed to teams that just signed or just drafted a rookie quarterback that they don't think they're ready to start yet. So he's going to be that guy that starts the first 5, 6, 7 games of a season before the rookie takes over, and then he's going to move on to another team and have an opportunity to do that.
Let's put him up against some of the other quarterbacks that will be available next year. What about Jake Browning? Who would you rather have? Ben, you gotta. I mean, what do you think? Jake Browning, Sam Darnold? If they're both going to be backups. If nobody, I don't think Browning's good enough to get a contract this year off of this play.
I'm always going to pick Darnold, man. I believe in the kid. I've seen what he can do, and I think giving him the right opportunities, like he had at the beginning of the game, he's going to perform well because he's got it in him. You know what I mean?
Joe
He's
Flacco.
I'm just saying, the kid knows how to play football, dude. You can't take that away from him. Yes, he might have happy feet every once in a while, but if you give him the weapons like he had at USC, like he has now with the Niners at moments, like he is a good quarterback in those when he's put in the right situation. I understand he's had troubles, and he's not Purdy. You know what I mean? But
he's a good backup. I'm with you.
When you say he's a good quarterback, I think what you mean, though, is that he's got a cannon for an arm, which he does, and that he's very athletic, which he is. I mean, when he takes off running with the ball, he looks good with the ball in his hands. And
so I think throw at the end of the game where that guy dropped it on the sideline, dude, that was one of the best throws. I mean, that was one of the nicest throws I've seen all season. I mean, that was gorgeous, dude. He's got dropped back.
Yeah, he's got a great arm. No doubt.
Threw it. It was a beautiful pass. You know what I mean? Like he's got he's got the skills to do the job, is what I'm saying. You know what I mean? Like he's got those skills. He might not have all the skills,
right? And what are all the skills, right? So when we talk about a quarterback, we talk about arm strength, we talk about accuracy, we talk about mobility. We talk about processing.
I think processing should be number one for all quarterbacks. And we've seen so many quarterbacks in the league come in that are amazing athletes that can outrun everybody on the field, but they can't process the information fast enough to run an NFL offense week in and week out.
Right.
So to me, processing should be one of the top two probably things anybody looks at in a quarterback.
Agree. Yeah. And I think that's probably his biggest deficiency is the processing.
Yeah.
So
I agree.
I would like to see the Niners bring him back as a backup because I think that Brock Purdy is young enough right now that our backup should very rarely play, right? It's not like he's injury prone. Yes, he had the elbow last year. There's a freak injury, but he doesn't have a long history of injuries. So our backup should rarely play. And if a backup's going to come in and you just need a backup to keep you afloat for a couple of series, I think Sam Darnold's capable of that. So my answer would be yes. If it's affordable, I would like to see him back next year.
Here's a really fun quarterback question. If Joe Flacco wins a playoff game or two, what do they do on the Browns?
Well, unfortunately, the financial part of it isn't going to let them keep both, I don't think.
We just saw it happen with Russell Wilson. It's not the same contract, I know, but he's going to get dumped. They're going to have $70 million against the cap or something? I mean,
they're going to dump Russell Wilson, but they're not going to have the money to re-sign a high-priced quarterback to replace him anytime soon. So they're going to be carrying his cap on the books for the next 2 years, right? And that would be the same thing with Deshaun Watson, except for Deshaun's is fully guaranteed.
It is.
Wilson's is not.
No, I know.
It's fully guaranteed, and it's the largest contract in the NFL, right? So you can't just dump it. And if Flacco...
So bench him? If Flacco wins 2 playoff games.
No,
he's played amazing.
I think Watson will be back.
Okay, so Flacco or Darnold is our backup. It's not possible, I know.
Joe Flacco, he's not going to come back as a backup. No way.
Hey, nobody wanted him this year. It's a Nick Foles thing.
Joe Flacco is going to get a starting job next year the same way that Ryan Fitzpatrick would always find starting jobs. And it's going to be that same cycle where it's like he's going to sign and then he's going to look like shit and then he's going to be somebody's backup. And then he's going to come in, he's going to look good, and then he's going to sign, he's going to look like shit.
He has the game down, man. He knows it. I don't have to get hurt. I don't have to play. I play bad for a couple of weeks. They bench me. I make more money next year.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. And that's the role that I see Sam Darnold fitting in eventually too is, signing somewhere, looking good as a backup, getting an opportunity, sucking, going somewhere else, getting an opportunity, looking good for a minute, then sucking, right? We've seen it too many times. Flacco did it with the Jets, and we could go on and on about how many.
I'm honestly, if the Niners weren't in the playoffs this year, thank God they are. I'd be putting money on Flacco to do it again with a great defense. The story is too fun. Throw a little bit of money on that. Maybe I should do it anyways, but I'm not going to. But I was, when he came in and started playing good 6 weeks ago or whatever, I started telling people that. I go, dude, this guy with that defense, if he does it again, I'm going to be fucking pissed, dude.
Well, okay. They're playing the Texans this week.
Well, you want a preview? Okay.
Favored by 2.5 points. What do you guys think his chances are against the Texans going this week? I mean, do you think he's got it sewed up?
I think Cleveland wins it.
Yeah, you know what? I'm really kind of upset that this matchup happened in the first round of the playoffs, because here's two teams that I'm kind of rooting for right now. The Texans I'm rooting for multiple reasons. Obviously, we have our boy DeMeco Ryans that went there in his first year, and so I'm rooting for him, just like I root for the Dolphins because of McDaniel. But also the Texans are just fun to watch, man, with that quarterback slinging it around. With when Tank Dell was there, but Nico Collins,
he was fun. He was
fun. I mean, it's just been a lot of fun to watch this year, and so I would have loved to see the Texans go in and make some noise in the playoffs, at least win one playoff game. But I'm with Matt. I think the Browns are gonna win this one going away. The Browns have the best defense in the NFL.
Yeah, right now they do.
And really, they didn't even need somebody like Flacco to come in and play the way he's been playing for them to have success. They could win with a game manager. But the fact that Flacco's coming in and being a gunslinger and, making all these players relevant. He's making, Amari Cooper relevant again. He's making David Njoku.
Cedric Tillman.
David Njoku is one of the top 3 tight ends in the league the last 6 weeks.
Right.
So this offense looks dynamic, and I'm with Matt. I think the Browns are prime.
Look at their running backs.
A run.
Jerome Ford finished the season scoring 15 points 6 or 7 weeks straight, and that's with Hunt taking half his touches. I mean, Njoku, like you said, Amari Cooper, all of the receivers. This team is dangerous, more dangerous than we thought it was going to be.
Do you think Joe Flacco thought he was done when he was done, or do you think he was sitting there all off season and then all the start of this season? Just waiting and waiting. Do you think when Aaron Rodgers went down, his agent was lobbying to get him in? Do you think he was? I mean,
did you guys see that video of Joe Flacco on the sideline the previous game when he actually played? And they made a meme of him because he was yawning on the sideline, and they said it's after Joe Flacco's bedtime. Did you see that one, Ben?
Yeah.
So he's on the sideline. I mean, he's having a hell of a game, and he's sitting on the sideline just yawning, and he's rubbing his eyes, and he's he looks like an old man,
right? It was 6:00 or something.
Yeah, that face that he's making on the sideline there is exactly how I imagine he was on his couch all year, just waiting for an opportunity. It's fucking too damn tired for all this shit. Just signing already.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
I don't think you come back. I don't think you come back at 38 unless you've been a clipboard holder your whole career, knowing you just need to make $1 million a year to keep living your way. I think a Super Bowl winner, a winning quarterback, only comes back at 38 if he thinks he's relevant and can still do it.
And still got it, right? He's like, I can still throw the ball around.
He doesn't need the money. He doesn't. Dude signed a giant contract after this.
No. He definitely doesn't need money, but. Yeah. And the guys like that, dude, he's probably still been throwing this whole time.
He did.
Dude, I bet you could put Fitzpatrick back on some of these teams. For sure. Yeah. He's the same kind of guy. He'd be right in there and he would do the same thing.
I'll tell you what, dude, I see some of these ex-NFL players come by at the Rams games that I work, I see some of these guys look like they could still suit it up, dude. They're still guys who haven't been playing for years. Do you see Steven Jackson comes by? That motherfucker is still huge, dude. Huge. And still in great shape. I'm like, dude, that guy looked like put him back in the game, dude. Holy moly.
By the way,
Ben, did you give your prediction on the game?
No, I think I'm in agreement with you guys. Although it is fun to think about Flacco going against CJ Stroud and the young versus old, the battle of that's really fun. And I think CJ Stroud is a great story. But that defense is just
I think if Stroud didn't get hurt, the concussion, and lose a couple of weeks, and we talked about this in the pod before, and I said, a good way for them to kind of ease out of the season, say, hey, great first year. I really thought when he came back, when Stingley came back, their rookie safety, I thought if they had any chance to go in the playoffs, the defense would have to start picking up the last month because the offense wasn't the offense to win a championship. Not that they'd ever make the Super Bowl this year, but I thought their defense needed to make a mark, and I didn't think they made a mark at the end of the season. So that was one of the things I was looking for. But
speaking of storylines, Ben, you mentioned the old versus young, and we're going to get to some of the storylines that are happening this weekend because there's a lot of great ones, a lot of people returning to old teams and things like that. But I think that if this ends up happening, it would make all the other storylines pale in comparison. If the Browns win this game and then they end up going to play the Ravens, think about the storylines from this game. I mean, you have to go back 20 years when you really do, or more than that, 24 years when the Browns left Cleveland and became
Oh
the
my
Ravens.
God. Yeah.
And then they won the Super Bowl in the year 2000, 1 year later. So this Browns fan base has been waiting decades and decades for success. They finally have a good team, and that team bails on them and goes to Baltimore and wins the Super Bowl, right? So the Browns already hate the Ravens to begin with.
Yeah.
Now they're in a division together. Now they have Joe Flacco, who used to play for the Ravens, who won a Super Bowl with the Ravens. Two of the best defenses in the league. What a storyline this game would be. And I believe the Browns would actually have a good chance to beat the Ravens. And that, to me, would be the highlight of this playoff season. Other than the Niners winning, of course, that to me would be awesome.
Yeah.
I'm going to go there because you said it. I'm with you. I think the only way that Baltimore doesn't go all the way to the Super Bowl is if the Browns take them out. I think that's their stop. That's their stopper.
I said the same thing in the thread the other day. I said that's the one team that Lamar Jackson doesn't want to see. He doesn't want to see Joe Flacco. I think there's a couple other teams that could give the Ravens a little bit of a fit, and we'll get into that and some of the reasons why later. But the Browns definitely are one of those teams. So
big time.
Yeah. That's gonna be. Whoo, it's going to be a good one. Dolphins, Chiefs. I mean, we could just go right down the line of these games. I mean, we could just talk about them in order. Dolphins, Chiefs, Dolphins at Chiefs, which is important to say because anytime you're playing an Arrowhead, man, that's a big home game advantage. Chiefs are favored by 4, and I guess we should give the over under is 43.5 on this one if anybody's betting these games. But yeah, dude, this is a big game. This is a huge game. This is a Tua versus Patrick, and you got the storyline of Reek, playing against his old team, and all this like this drama. I'm excited for this one.
Yeah, the NFL script writers.
Hold on, I just want to say real quick. Ben said the over is 43.5. Is that accurate?
That's what I saw this morning.
Are you saying Tyreek Hill, Mahomes, Kelsey, Mostert, A-Chain, all these guys are the second lowest over-under the entire weekend?
Let me double check for you, Matthew.
That's crazy. That just with those players, that doesn't seem right.
Doesn't seem right. Yeah.
Yeah, I got it. I got it right now, and now it's at 44. So it shifts around a lot, but yeah, it's at 44 right now.
That's so low for that team. Those teams. That's crazy.
Yeah, well, you have to remember the Chiefs haven't really looked like the Chiefs for a good while now. I don't know what happened, and I get all the conspiracy theories about Taylor Swift and all that stuff, but I mean, take that out of it. I mean, it's not like our boy Kelsey had never dated a celebrity before. He was on a dating show, right? He was on a dating show, when he was playing like 10 years ago. Yeah. This guy's had a very public life for a long time.
Yes.
And not like this.
Not like this. I get that.
Like this. Not anywhere near it.
But he has looked horrible. I mean, and I get it. He still finished like number 2 in fantasy points, and he had an okay, year productive. But compared to what he's done in the past, he hasn't been very good lately. And neither is Mahomes.
I mean, he's older. They're both older. They're, time is. They looked good, yeah, but I mean,
he looked good. Okay, here's another question.
He's looked good. He's looked good since dating dating Swift too, though. It's not like he's like fallen off. He's had big games since they've been dating. You know what I mean? Like, who knows?
Okay, so why didn't Mr. Taylor Swift play in that last game? He only needed 18 yards to get to 1,000 yards, right? Why didn't Mr. Taylor Swift play?
I think they're trying to get him healthy. I think they're really worried about
18 yards.
Yeah, but when you're somebody, you're a surefire Hall of Famer,
1,000 yards. Like, what's 1,000 yards to him?
Because it would have been 8 seasons in a row. No tight end's ever done it more than 4 years his entire career.
Yeah,
okay, I think he already has the record. He already has the record, right? Is what you're saying?
No, I think that stuff matters less.
Well, that's what I'm saying. So he's already got the record. So it's like, what's one more? Nobody's gonna catch him, probably.
Well, and maybe I'm just off then because I heard going up to the game he was going to play. Like, he's going to play. I wasn't following news really hardcore, obviously, because we didn't have any lineups. But it seemed like they kind of said he's not going to play last minute or late. So it seemed weird to me.
Well, look at his productivity this year, okay? So we get it. The first half of the year, he looked great. He was putting up 25-point fantasy games, 38 points, 25. His last 3 games, though, from a fantasy output, his last 3 games were 7, 9, 4. So what does that tell you? That tells you that, and there was no stated injury. It tells you that he's probably just run down. He's probably just exhausted. And that week off is really going to do him some good. And this is the first year in a long time that the Chiefs don't have a bye. right? The Chiefs always go into the playoffs with a bye and home field advantage throughout the playoffs. So Andy Reid's not stupid. Andy Reid's looking at it and saying, listen, I have an aging tight end. He's 32 years old. He's been looking run down the last few weeks. We don't get a bye week like we usually do. I don't care about some stupid 1,000-yard record. These are surefire Hall of Famers anyways. Let's give them a week off. Let's get them rested up. Be prepared to play that playoff game.
I don't think Andy Reid gives a shit about a record for sure. He's not caring about. He doesn't care about that. You know what I mean? He just wants to win.
Here's the thing. When Nate said is he looks worn down. I've seen him have monstrous games back to back to back to back to back. Last year, the year before, he wasn't that much younger. Monster games, 200-yard games. I don't know, 300-yard games, 89 touchdown games, 90, 95 catch games, whatever. This guy's done it all. If you really think and you really believe that he is physically worn down 3 weeks in a row and can't recover because of 3 weeks, unless you're saying it's an injury, which you're not really saying, you're saying worn down, then I'm going to say conditioning and back to Taylor Swift maybe.
Maybe. And by the way, I said 32.
Wait, are we saying
never not been conditioned before? Never.
Is this the whole boom? No boom boom before a fight. It weakens the legs. It weakens the legs. Is that what you're trying to say?
Yeah. Well, if we needed any more fodder for our conspiracy theories, and I'm still kind of on the side of this is not a real relationship.
Oh, I know where you're going.
Right.
Oh, dude,
hold on a second. Let me finish. Let me finish.
Okay,
You look at Kelsey's dating history. Just look at it.
Yeah.
He likes a certain type of woman. He likes curvy women. He likes women of color. Taylor Swift is not the type of girl he usually goes for. Just saying. Okay.
Right.
And all the video that you see of them in public, it's all very vanilla. They're holding hands. There's no real passion or spark there from what I've seen. The fact that the NFL put this game exclusively on Peacock when all year long they told us there's going to be a game, it's going to be on Peacock. Be prepared, there's going to be a game, it's going to be on Peacock. All year they've been telling us this, and this is the game they choose. And you're going to try and convince me that they didn't have this planned all along from the beginning to put the Chiefs on Peacock so that Taylor Swift fans would have to go out and buy Peacock along with all the NFL fans?
I don't know. Peacock has so many Lifetime stories. I think her fans are already fucking subscribed. But here's the thing. It's not the first time this has happened. I mean, Thursday nights are prime. Saturdays are prime. European games are prime. You got to buy into all that. It's not a new thing. But also the Lions are on prime. Because everybody I know at work today was complaining that you can't watch the game. That none of them have Peacock and they have to figure out a way to watch the game. So either all the fucking Lions fans are stupid and they think it's being streamed on Peacock. They all believe it is. So
it's not.
Dude, I had 3 different of my workers come in today and tell me I don't know how to watch a game because it's streaming on Peacock only.
Yeah, those workers are wrong. The only game that's streaming on Peacock
awesome
only.
If they were. It's kind of how they work, though. Actually, that makes sense. Actually, none of them watch this, so I can say that. But you're probably right. But.
Yeah, no. The
are you
only
sure?
game that's I'm positive.
Those fucking tool bags.
The only game that's streaming exclusively on Peacock is the Chiefs Dolphins, and that will be the only game. They made it clear from the beginning that there was only one game this year that was going to be, one game in the playoffs, one game in the regular season, which was on Christmas Eve.
Okay. So how easy was it to sign up for Peacock, Nate?
It was pretty easy.
Free trial.
No. So when I wanted to watch the game, we were at the Christmas party, and there was a game that was on Peacock. And it wasn't even a game I really cared about, but I was at my wife's family's house, and, you need something to do. Got to put the game on, And so it was you had 2 options. You could buy the subscription, which is the plus, and that was $13, or you can get the scaled back one for $6. I was like, if it was a pay-per-view game, I would have paid $6 to watch this game.
Yeah.
Right. So I signed up, and I did not cancel it because I thought to myself, I'll give it a month. And then after the Chiefs game, which is happening this weekend, this Saturday, then I'll decide whether to keep Peacock or not. And I will say this.
Okay, go ahead.
In the month since I've had it, I guess it hasn't been quite a month yet, 2 weeks since I've had it, I have not watched one single show on Peacock.
There are a lot of movies on Peacock that I've been seeing recently that I've been like, oh, I want to watch. Oh shit, it's only on Peacock, and I'm not going to pay for that shit.
I had a free 6 months on Peacock. 2 years ago or a year and a half ago. There were some good shows on it, but
so you got off the cock, is what you're saying, after 6 months.
Yeah, it took me a little bit longer than that and a little hard. There's some good shows on there, but yeah.
Listen, we've all spent 6 months on the cock at one point or another in our lives.
It's hard to get off of it. I mean, if you forget about those subscriptions, and then it's just dude, it's a pain in the ass.
Download Rocket Money, not a sponsor.
Not yet. That's funny though. I mean, so wait, just what I was going to say before, Nate, is because they've now introduced it to Peacock, is it more likely, do you think, like they did with Prime, are they going to have more games on Peacock now? Do you think that's going to be another thing where maybe they move the Saturday games to Peacock, or you know what I mean? Or I don't know. I mean,
maybe eventually, but I think the whole goal here is, and by the way, the NFL is not stupid. They do everything well thought out, 3D chess, way in advance.
Yeah.
They put up the rights and they made that offer to all of the streaming services. If you pay us X, you can have our games, but if you pay us X, we'll make it exclusive, right? And so these streaming services, they pay more to have an exclusive game. There's a reason there's only 2 of these, because that's all that NBC could afford to buy from the NFL was 2 exclusive games. Otherwise, they would do more, right? So you pay X, and then you try and get a rush of people to buy the subscription, and the Peacock's hoping a lot of those people will keep it or forget they have it, and it just keeps on billing them each month, right? And then we'll see what happens next year. I don't think it's going to be a thing where we're forced, if we want to watch all the games, to have 10 streaming services. I hope that's not the case.
Ugh, can you imagine though? Like that's money for the NFL, right? They're just raking it in from everywhere. They're just like, oh, you want a game? You want a game? Or you want a game? All right, cool. I mean, and you're just like,
I mean, it's kind of already like that, right? I mean, unless you have cable TV, you got to buy all these different channels, stream it anyways, or you buy the NFL package and you pay $300 a month or whatever that is. I mean, they're getting either way. It's not. I mean, it's gonna keep going just like this.
Chiefs Dolphins. Let's pick it because we didn't even pick it. Is there any more storylines to this game you guys want to talk
Travis
about?
and Taylor.
Travis and Taylor.
No, there is one other thing that's worth noting, and I'll make my pick right after I say this. The Chiefs have looked bad lately, but one thing we know about the Chiefs is they have an ability to turn it on. They can flip a switch. They've done it before. They've had stretches before where they look bad, and all of a sudden, out of nowhere, you're like, holy shit, they look the best team in the league. They have that ability. The Dolphins look great against bad teams, have not beat any winning teams. I think they only beat one winning team all year. They won double-digit games, but 10 of those were against losing teams and only 1 against a winning team. I will be rooting for the Dolphins this week. I'm rooting for, Mike McDaniel. I'd like to see them do well. I would love to see them knock off the Chiefs, but if I'm a betting man, I'm putting my money on the Chiefs.
Yeah. I'm also I think that Tua has shown weaknesses this year in big games against teams like that, and he's like kind of disappears, and then so yeah, and I think the Chiefs are going to step up at home. Look out for the defense to step up. They got a big mother effer on that line that loves to rush the quarterback, so I'd look out for him. Chris Jones is his name, if I remember correctly. Yeah, dude, I don't know. It's hard to bet against Patrick in a big game like this. You know what I mean? So I know he doesn't got a ton of weapons, but he seems to always get it done.
Yep.
Matt?
Well, I'm going to be the odd man out here because I know the Dolphins are down some defensive guys. I think this is going to be a Chan's re-coming out party because he really didn't have a big year after those first couple big games and the injury.
Interesting.
I think he comes out, he smokes. I think Tyreek Hill is on fire. I don't know, might throw 3 interceptions and 5 touchdowns. I think it's going to be a shootout if it's going to be a game. And I'm going to take the Dolphins.
Dude, can you imagine?
Are you going to be able to watch the game? Did either one of you guys subscribe to Peacock?
Nope.
No?
I'll figure it out.
You'll figure it out? You'll stream it
I'll figure it out.
Yeah, you mentioned their defensive players, Matt. Not only did they lose Bradley Chubb last week and a couple other guys on the line, but I just heard this morning that they also lost Van Ginkel for the rest of the season. He's out, which is a big hit. So
it'll have to be a shootout. It'll be a shootout if they win.
Yeah.
Which
You'll need it to be.
Which the 43 over-under is like, what? I'm predicting a blowout if, high score.
Yeah. I mean, it's not like Reek doesn't know that place. He knows it well, and he probably feels very comfortable playing there.
And I think they're going to treat him well, too.
Yeah, no matter if it's a home game or not, it's always a home game for him. So, that's always something to look at. But, I don't know. Dude, speaking of big arm quarterbacks like those two guys, did you guys have
not about the two coaches? All right, I'll stick with it.
What's that?
Did you guys happen to see that clip going around this week or on Instagram of the quarter? It was like a 1998 quarterback throwing contest between Brett Favre, Jim Harbaugh. Did you guys see
Yeah.
that clip going?
I saw it. Yeah, Brett Favre won, right?
Yeah, Brett Favre won with the 75 or 76 or something yards or something like that.
Yeah.
It was just really fun to see, man. I was like, damn, can you imagine if they did that now, though? They should bring that back. They should bring back just the long distance. The guys who, because
Don't they do that? Isn't that the new Pro Bowl? The skills
Yeah, the new Pro
competition?
Bowl is the games.
Yeah.
So I don't know if there's gonna be a long toss game. I didn't watch it last year, but
I don't think they had it last year. But can you imagine the guys today? I'm sure Patrick can throw it fucking 80 yards easy,
Yeah,
dude. I
probably.
mean, that guy. I mean, these guys have cannons, dude. I mean, not that they didn't before, but
Wasn't there a
Man.
story that he like threw it out of Chief Stadium one time? Like that seems impossible to me.
that was Mike Vick, and that was fake, I believe.
Okay. I was gonna say I knew I heard that story somewhere.
Yeah,
they used to say the same thing about Bo Jackson. Bo Jackson hit it out of Angel Stadium back in the day. You know? Like,
Speaking of old
I saw
videos,
him
though,
do it.
the all time great. I mean, the goat of old videos is the Andy Reid punt, pass, and kick competition from when he was like a sixth grader. You guys remember this one?
Oh yeah, I have seen that. Yes, dude, he was a beast.
Dude, we talk about how big Frankie is. Frankie is a midget compared to how big Andy Reid was, man.
Yeah.
All these sixth graders are like all lined up, and Andy Reid's like twice as big as them. It's fucking hilarious.
Yeah, it was huge. Oh man, dude. Well, all right, let's move on to the next game. Steelers at Bills. This is a interesting one because the Steelers to me are like, really? Like
they made the playoffs? Huh?
Really? Like, I don't know. They just really didn't do much this year for me. So, I don't know. Is there anything really big to talk about here? You guys want to talk about?
They made it to the playoffs with what? Starting 3 different quarterbacks?
Yeah,
that's usually pretty rare. I mean,
I
guess the Browns did it too, but
Steelers are consistently one of the best coached teams in the league.
Yeah.
I mean, the number of years that Mike Tomlin has as a winning coach is really phenomenal. He's been there forever. You know, he's actually coached. I think I saw the stat now that he's taken the Steelers to more years making the playoffs than Bill Cowher did, which is crazy to me because when we were kids, it seemed like Bill Cowher was in the playoffs every year,
all the time. Super Bowl. Yeah.
And now Tomlin has more playoff appearances than Cowher.
Well, Tomlin's been more consistent. I mean, nobody's more consistent than Tomlin, right? I mean, what does he have? 1 losing season with the Steelers?
Yeah,
is by 1 game.
I think it was 8-8 that year. I don't think he's even had a losing season.
Okay, I couldn't remember if he had 1 losing season in the last couple. But okay, yeah, then I'm with you. Never had a losing season. That's
but here's the deal.
Say that.
I don't give the Steelers much of a chance here, and I wouldn't have even if T.J. Watt was playing. Right. But now that T.J. Watt is out, I mean, the Bills have been the hottest team in the league the last 5 or 6 weeks. I mean, just 5 weeks ago, they were 3 games out of the division lead. 3 games out. In 5 weeks, they came all the way back and won the division. They've been on fire. Josh Allen looks like a man possessed. He also looks like a fucking crazy person sometimes. I mean, he plays like Brett Favre on steroids. He's throwing interceptions all over the place. He's fucking running. He's throwing touchdowns. And this he plays like he's got his hair on fire. It's nuts to watch. But I don't think the Steelers match up very well against the Bills, and so I'm just going to go ahead and pick the Bills. This will be the biggest upset of the week, or not upset, but biggest blowout of the week.
Yeah, that's what I looked at when I saw it. When I was just looking at the matchups, I was like, really? Like, that game's going to be just a stomping, I think. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not even excited to watch it.
The Bills are so inconsistent, though. I mean, the Steelers, I'm taking the Bills 100%. There's no doubt about it. But, and it's probably the only game that
Let me qualify this real quick.
I don't love the Bills. I just don't love the Bills. I don't love the way they're playing. Stephon Diggs has been terrible. I love Cook. Josh Allen, I think, can be inconsistent. Throw a lot of interceptions. It's a different game with T.J. Watt, but it's also probably the only game. Maybe there's one other one where I don't give the Steelers any chance to win. Like I don't love the Bills, but I just one game I just don't think the Steelers even have a chance.
By the way, I want to correct myself. A moment ago, I said that he looks like Brett Favre on steroids, and that was a completely unique line for myself. But now I'm recalling that there was actually a moment during last week's game where somebody said that he looked like John Elway on steroids.
Oh, funny.
And so I may have got that, subconsciously stuck in my mind.
Yeah.
The guy said he's John Elway on steroids, and then he quickly corrected himself. I'm not saying he's on steroids though.
Oh.
That's great.
But no, yeah, he reminds me more of Brett Favre the way he plays. It's just he's a wild man.
I saw
Yeah.
it's probably during the game this week, and I assume that's where I saw it. But somebody maybe it was it was Romo, I think. Romo breaking down Jordan Love and to Aaron Rodgers to Brett Favre and showing how Brett Favre gunslinger has even showed up with Jordan Love because he got passed down through Aaron Rodgers and everything. It was a really interesting story because he broke it down to the exact position of throwing and everything. I thought it was so interesting. I don't know if you guys saw that during the game or not, but
No.
it was
I
interesting.
didn't see that, but I have heard people say that when Jordan Love came into the league, he didn't look anything like Aaron Rodgers. And then after being underneath him for a couple of years, that he's actually picked up a lot of his tendencies and that his throwing motion is very similar to Rodgers. So I think that is interesting that he sort of learned it by osmosis, or so to speak, right?
Yeah.
And I also find it fascinating how the Packers, how they do their quarterbacks. It's so consistent. You had Brett Favre there for so many years, and then you sit Aaron Rodgers behind him for 4 years. And then you have, and then you have Jordan Love, and he sits behind for 4 years. And it's like this pattern for them, it's working. And look at Jordan Love, his first year as a starter, he's in the playoffs. And guess who's not? Aaron Rodgers is not. So the Packers know what they're doing.
Okay, so listen, we're talking Packers. I think that is the best young receiving core in the league. Maybe not realized yet. Not realized yet. Most potential in young guys. Dontavian Wicks is like fifth in their team 6 weeks ago. He's catching multiple touchdowns a week. They brought in this guy Heath, caught touchdowns when everybody else was hurt. Watson, all these guys. I'm absolutely stoked, and I want every piece of every one of those guys in Dynasty going forward. I think that young receiving core is amazing. Amazing.
See, I don't believe in Watson. I haven't seen enough from Watson to be all in on him. I definitely saw enough of Jaden Reed this year. I think Reed he's legit.
What about Dobbs?
Dobbs is pretty inconsistent. He's been up and down.
I think
right?
when he makes plays, they're pretty good. They're pretty good plays.
Yeah,
he's not consistent, but he's young. He's young.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wouldn't give that crew, a tag of being the best young group of receivers in the league necessarily, but they got some potential for sure.
I'm looking at them right now, and I was because when you said that, it made me think like, what? Let's go look. Let's go look real quick.
Yeah.
You got Arizona with Michael Wilson, Rondell Miller, Greg Dortch, all young, all up and coming.
Those guys have been around like 5 years. What are you talking about?
Who?
No, they haven't.
Dortch?
Michael Dortch isn't that old.
No,
Dortch has been 3-4 years?
I think this is his third year.
Okay, third year?
Yeah.
I'm just saying
Michael Wilson.
These guys are all rookies their second year.
Oh, okay,
Michael
so
Wilson's a
second
rookie.
All right.
Michael Wilson's a rookie.
What you mean by young? Is it?
Yeah. Are we talking? We're talking rookies.
They don't have a lot of game experience. They don't have a lot of games played in the NFL. So young played, not young age.
Got it.
I'm sure we can break down other teams. I'm just giving you my opinion. My opinion, that is a special young receiving core.
Yeah.
Unrealized. They haven't hit their ceiling by any stretch. Unrealized. But
yeah, and I think Jordan Love had a really good year. His first year as a starter. He was inconsistent. He had some tough games, but I think he's showing that he belongs. And it's good to see the Packers made a little bit of a run there and got into the playoffs. So, and by the way, here's another game that Vegas isn't giving a lot of credit to the underdog.
Okay, go ahead.
Well, I'm just saying Vegas didn't give a lot of credit to them. Everybody thinks the Cowboys are going to blow the Packers out.
Yeah,
but if you go back and you look at their history, you look at the playoff games they play against each other, in recent memory, the Packers have been a bit of kryptonite to the Cowboys. And so I will probably pick the Cowboys myself, but I would not be shocked if the Packers came in there and upset them because...
Blow me up, Ben. Blow me up. You got something juicy. I can see it in your face.
I just wanted to ask you this. Christian Watson, Romeo Dobbs, Jaden Reed.
Yep.
Nico Collins, Noah Brown, Tank Dell.
That one's fun. That one's amazing.
Noah Brown's old.
What?
Noah Brown's old.
Yeah,
like 28.
Noah Brown's 30.
Okay, well, it was either Noah Brown or
That's
Robert
my
Woods.
point.
I went Noah Brown. He's definitely younger than Robert Woods, right?
Listen, dude, I love Tank Dell. I love the young receivers on Houston, but I'm talking about on Green Bay. There's like 5 of them that are first or second year. Some of them only played in a few games. They got less pass. They don't even have 30 passes thrown in this year. They're just so young, and I watched them with my eyeballs, and they pass the eyeball test. They have a lot of athleticism, a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, Cowboys.
But I'm
going
still taking the Cowboys for sure.
Yeah, is CeeDee Lamb still playing? Is he still
exactly?
Is he still in the game? Yeah. That's who I'm taking.
Yeah.
The Cowboys.
We're all taking the Cowboys. We're going chalk on this one.
Yeah. Now,
Chalk.
if it had been at the Packers, I'd be thinking about that one at least. I'd at least be thinking about it.
Well, yeah, the Cowboys don't look like the same team on the road as they have at home. But
No.
the Cowboys are the one team that scare me the most in the NFC. I have no doubts that the Niners are the best team in the NFC. I have no doubts that, if we play every team 10 times or in a 7-game series, that we would win the series, right? But that's not how the NFL is played. Any team can beat any team on any given Sunday in the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
And if you ask me which team scares me the most in the NFC, it's the Cowboys. So, of course, I'll be rooting against the Cowboys, as I do always, every week.
Always.
But they are legitimately scary because they have offense and defense.
Yeah. And we've been beat deep a few times. And so CeeDee Lamb's not somebody I want to face.
No.
I don't want our corners to face him. All right. Well, we went chalk there. So here's the next one. This one's fun. I know Nathan's been chomping at the bit to talk about this one. He's excited. Rams at Lions. The storylines are just incredible in this one. Nathan, you want to talk to us a little bit about this game?
Yeah, there's so many storylines. I mean, forget about the fact that the Lions haven't hosted a playoff game in Detroit in 30 years.
Right.
So, I mean, forget about your son is a recent Lions fan, and he thinks the Lions are always this successful. There's people that are Lions fans that are in their 30s and they've never seen the Lions host a playoff game, right?
Yeah.
And so that's number one. That place is going to be ridiculously loud. Matt probably knows. He's in Michigan.
Already the worst fans in the world. Lions fans are the worst fans, even when they know they suck. Like coming off 0-16 season, they go, "Man, we're a playoff team. We're a playoff team next year. We got it." They're the slappiest fucking fans in the world. This is going to go for another 30 years now. Even if it's the only good season in 30 years, they'll still think they can make the playoffs every year. It's going to suck. I'm going to move out of state. It's going to suck that bad.
Yeah, and I haven't even gotten to the biggest storyline yet, but I do want to make one more note about the fans. I did read that as far as the get-in price for this game, it's the highest get-in price for any game this week, which is huge because Michigan's a depressed area. You don't think
they've been saving for 30 years, man. $1,200 a year for 30 years. Goddamn, do the math.
You don't think of Michigan people as being rich and having a lot of that's the ticket prices, either that or somebody's paying up and gouging all these Michigan fans. But no, obviously the biggest storyline is this. A couple of years ago, the Rams went to the Super Bowl with Jared Goff. They lose the Super Bowl. He was the number 1 pick in the draft, and they just gave up on the kid. They said, "You know what? You're the number 1 pick. You took us to the Super Bowl, but fuck you. You're not good enough for us." They got rid of him. Not only did they get rid of him, but they trade him and a bunch of draft picks and a bunch of money just to get Stafford. Now, it paid off because Stafford took them to the Super Bowl and they won.
Hold on, before we go past that, you can pick it back up again, but before we go past that, I heard, and we've talked about this, I'm sure. I heard that he fucked up with McVay's wife, made a comment, hit on her something, and got relegated to the other side of the football world. Are we still thinking there's some possibility of that? Because I bring it up all the time to people out here. I tell the story. I think it's fun. I don't know if it's true or not.
No, it's dude. I have heard from sources that it is true. That is not fucking a made up story.
Well, let's first of all clarify what the story was, because it wasn't him fucking with his wife. What it was is they were in a group chat, and you can correct me if I'm wrong. They were in a group chat with a bunch of teammates. And he made a comment about how hot McVay's wife is.
Yes.
Which is something I guess you don't do in a group chat. You don't talk about your boss's wife.
No, you don't do.
Now, let me ask you a question. Is McVay's wife hot? Categorically, yes. There's no denying that his wife is hot.
But you don't say that.
McVay wasn't in the chat. I'm more pissed off at the fucking pussy that would leak that shit.
Well, of course.
What's said in the group chat is supposed to be secret. You guys know this. We're in a group chat.
Who leaked it? Do we know?
Exactly.
I don't have that information, but I know. But I've heard through. You've
heard?
What?
You've heard
who
it was?
leaked it or no?
No. I just heard people talking that I trust who are close to the organization that were telling other people about the story. And so, I mean, I know it's a fact, but dude,
By the way, do we think McVay's that soft that he hears his quarterback thinks his wife is hot and he trades him? I mean, I get it. The story's probably true. That conversation probably did take place.
I love
I
it.
think that
if it's true, I love it.
But the reason for trading Goff, maybe that had like 1% of the reason or 2%. There's no way that McVay is that soft that he's trading his quarterback because he said his wife is hot.
Okay, now, let me clarify. I wasn't there. I wasn't on the thread.
Alleged.
Yeah, it was all alleged. But I allegedly heard it through people who I trust. You know what I mean?
Now with Taylor Swift taking up the Queen Bee spot in NFL royalty with Travis, and we're gonna have like Mahomes' wife, Brittany Mahomes. I think she's gonna be royalty. There's gonna be a lot more stories like this of queens and princes getting banished to their side of the NFL when these little weird NFL royalty parties are happening. I think this is a new norm. I think there's a lot of soap opera coming to the NFL. I think it's gonna be a lot.
I mean,
it's been scripted, right? It's according to Nathan. It's all been scripted.
It's all scripted, yeah. No, I mean it's funny, and it's like we all like to spill a little bit of tea and like, oh, he heard that he said this and that sort of thing. But I really don't believe that that's had anything to do with the reason he was traded. I think he was traded because the Rams came to LA and they paid billions of dollars. Stan Kroenke paid for this stadium, and he paid for the rights for the Super Bowl, and he paid for a super team around him. And he went to the team and said, listen, the quarterback's not good enough. You need to go get a better quarterback. I will pay any amount of money for you to do that. And by the way, when Stafford left the Lions, it wasn't an acrimonious split. I mean, he went to the Lions and said, I know I have still time on my contract, but I'd like to be traded. And they came to a mutual agreement and said, okay, it's in the best interest of both parties, right? So he left on a good note. And I think that when Stafford became available, the Rams had no choice. They said to themselves, you know what? This is a guy that can take us. And they were right. And they went and they won the Super Bowl. I don't think that the text messages had much to him do
and Sean. And dude, from what I hear, Sean and Matthew are like best buddies. You know what I mean? Like they're like buddy.
It did help write the script. It's just all it all fits.
Well, yeah, Matthew Stafford is also best friends with Kershaw, right? They went to they played Little League together. They went to high school together. They were best friends. So I mean, it was all behind the scenes. It was all puppet master pulling the strings to get him here. But it's so ironic where it's led us now, where the Rams are now the 7th seed or the 6th seed, and the Lions are the ones that are in the power position. They're the ones that won their divisions. Jared Goff's actually had a better year than Stafford. He's got the better weapons, right? And they're favored. They're favored by 3 in this game.
By 3, yep.
At home, which typically if you're favored by 3 at home, that means Vegas thinks that it's probably even. Like the two teams are even, right?
Well, let's pick it.
I don't know that they are, though. Honestly, I mean, I tend to lean towards the Lions right now, and I think they have it going on in the weapons, and I think the Rams got to show it to me that they got what they need. I want to see it one more time from them. You know what I mean? I want to see Puka and Cooper have a big game against the Lions secondary, because that's never easy. Not this season anyways. So, I got to see it from him. So I like Amon-Ra always, you know what I mean? And he's shown me a lot. So, I'm going Lions.
I am going to, I think a big part of this game, and I'm not hearing a lot of talk about it, is Laporta going out last week. That was a bad knee injury.
Ooh,
He's a huge part of their game.
That is a big loss.
And not just the fact he opens up so many things. He opens up so many things with those routes that he runs up the middle. So I think that's a huge loss. And their backup tight end, who I even had in Dynasty last year, I forget his name now. He's hurt. So they may be down to their 3rd string tight end. That's a big deal. The Rams have a really good defense. They're great at stopping the run. If Khalif Raymond's out, if Laporta's out, if the Rams can stop the run, all you really got to do is take care of Amon-Ra. I'm going to take the Rams in this one.
Yeah. You know what? My heart is going to be rooting for the Lions. I would love to see the
Mine
city
too,
of
dude. I've
Detroit.
watched so much of them out here.
Yeah,
So
I would love to see the city of Detroit win. I mean, even though I have a bet with some of the guys that the Niners will go further than the Lions, so I'll win like $240 if the Lions lose. I'll still be rooting with everything for the Lions because I would love to see them win. Also, I'm just a Rams hater. I would love to see them. But listen, I've been watching the NFL long enough, and I know a couple of things about the NFL. I know that teams that make it to the playoffs for the first time typically don't have a lot of success because sometimes just getting there was their Super Bowl, right? The Lions just winning their division and getting a home playoff game for the first time in 30 years, that's their Super Bowl. And sometimes there's a letdown from that. But I also know that the NFL can be cruel. And I know that it's not fair and it's like the meanest thing possible if Stafford comes back and beats the Lions on their home field.
Yeah.
The cruelest option is usually the one that ends up being true, and I'm picking the Rams.
Nice.
You fucking pieces of shit. You guys, seriously, both of you are picking the Lambs, man. Oh, God.
Hey, by the way,
Matt,
before we talk
from Michigan, still picking the Lambs. God, no
We're
respect.
not picking favorites. We're not picking which color team we like better, which uniforms we like.
What's
We're
your
fucking
favorite
picking
color?
which team we think was going to win. Come on.
Hey, you know what? You know what? I think, dude, don't put it past Goff to come back and throw it in their face, bro.
Yeah.
That's a lot of hate. That's a lot. You can't take that away from the band.
I said that it was totally. He was fine with it. He
Not
wasn't angry at all
Goff.
about being traded.
Not
Oh
Goff.
yeah, he said it, but Goff didn't. Yeah, you're right.
No,
Sorry,
I'm saying
my bad.
shit.
My bad.
Goff having a chance to put the Rams on ice at home, you know, shove it in Matt Stafford's face. Like, dude, you guys, dude, that's a lot of extra oomph to get
One
up for that
team's
game.
getting healthy. One team.
Yeah, but Goff has
got
never
injured.
shown us that he can take that extra oomph and turn it into success, right? He's had a good year, but
He's here.
yeah, I just don't think that,
Yeah.
I think the
All right.
Rams are
Listen,
going to win.
if they were
All right.
100% sold on Goff, in my opinion, if they were 100% sold on Goff, they wouldn't have brought Hendon Hooker up 3 games ago to start sitting on the bench and being available just in case. They said he's ready. He's there now.
It's playoffs.
No, I'm
gotta
just
have a
saying.
backup.
I'm just
You gotta
saying.
have a
If they 100% believe in their quarterback, 100%, leave that rookie on the shelf for the year. I just think
There's
they
something
don't
about
believe in him. I don't think he'll be
Hey,
there next year
there's
because
some-
of this
well,
playoff loss.
I'm not saying that. I'm just saying there's something about bringing the kid up too and giving him experience in the playoffs and showing him what it's about. And you know, why not bring him up? Why not show him?
He was on the sideline anyways. Either way.
Hey, before we get into the Eagles-Bucks game, which is happening on Monday night, let me set you guys up as 49er fans for, what your rooting interest should be outside of, your heart, right?
All right.
The Niners are going to be sitting at home waiting.
Nate's rooting rankings.
Right.
Sorry.
It's our rooting rankings. The Niners are going to be sitting at
Get a
home.
logo for that. I just got him with like 2 guns up or something, like a little cowboy hat. Yeah, dude. It's gonna be great.
So I've done the math. I've looked at all the seeds and how it all shakes out. And the way it works is this. So the first NFC game that's going to happen is going to be Sunday morning, the Packers and Cowboys. If the Packers pull the upset, automatic, we know who our opponent is. As soon as that game's over, we already know it's going to be the Packers coming to Santa Clara to play the Niners. I don't think that's going to happen, though. I think the Cowboys, we all do. We all pick the Cowboys. So then it goes into the next game, which will be Sunday afternoon, Rams-Lions. If the Rams pull the upset, then we already know who our opponent's going to be. It's going to be the Rams. They're coming to Santa Clara.
Yep.
If it's the Lions that win that game, then we know the Lions are going to Dallas, right? So it goes in order. It could be the Packers. If they don't pull the upset, then it could be the Rams. But if they don't pull the upset, then it's going to come down to Monday night. The winner of Eagles-Bucks will be coming to Santa Clara on short rest because they played on Monday night. So just something to keep in mind as a Niner fan. Who would you rather play amongst those teams? I would take the Packers first. But second, I don't want the Rams. I would like the winner of this game, Eagles-Bucks.
Dude, thank you. You laid it out perfectly. Everything was correct.
Yeah.
But that's not what we're doing here. We're not picking who we want to play.
I
We're
know
picking
that.
who we think will win the games.
No,
I know who we
know
want.
that.
I don't want to play the Rams at home next week. I don't want to do it. I want to
Yeah.
whip the shit out of them because we're going to have to. I don't want to. Ben's right. Us and the Rams, God, those two coaches know each other so well. There's so much gamesmanship. There's so much animal. Oh, my God, I do not want to see the Rams this year in the playoffs. I do not want to see them. But it's not what we're doing here. Who do we think will win? I think the Rams will win.
Yeah, no,
Right? You're doing what you do. I'll do my rooting rankings.
No!
right?
I'm saying we're making picks here. We're making picks here.
he was just giving, before we get too far away from the
I
games
know.
that were in the Eagles Bucks, he was giving us a 49ers guide to how to root for the weekend. That's all.
Yeah,
You
that's
know,
it.
I appreciated that. I appreciated
I
that.
said he laid it out perfectly. It wasn't wrong in anything he said.
Yeah, Eagles. I mean, who would you rather face in that? Eagles or Bucks?
Bucks.
Yeah,
Bucks, right?
for sure.
Even though the Eagles, like, were they resting everybody last week?
No.
when
No, they
shit the
played
bed?
everybody. No, what
Okay,
happened was
fill in the injuries because I haven't looked at injury news since then. How's AJ Brown?
okay. So I don't know how they are now. All I can tell you is what I
Okay.
saw during the game. Okay, in the game, AJ Brown went down with a knee injury. It looked bad.
That looked bad.
They're saying it's no tear, so they're saying he should be okay. It's probably sore, but it looked
He's
bad
at
enough.
80%.
Yeah, and he didn't come back into the game, so even if he's playing, he's going to be hobbled. And then during the game, Jalen Hurts hit his thumb, and it's not broken. X-rays show no break, right? And he says he's going to play as well, but he couldn't come back into the game.
I thought when he held up his hand, his ring finger was dislocated. I thought it was his middle finger.
It was on the throwing hand, though. Yeah, but you're right. It was it looked like a dislocated finger. You're right.
Yeah.
So he wasn't able to return to the game, or maybe they just out of an abundance of caution said there's nothing to play for. The Cowboys are blowing out the Giant or whoever they played. It wasn't the Giants.
Hold on, time out
Washington.
Again. I think he came back in the game and played with it for another series or two.
But he didn't finish the game.
He didn't. That's what I'm saying. But I don't think it's injury related. I think you're right. He played with the injury for a series or two. They knew they were out. They pulled him for the rest.
Right.
But I don't think I think he definitely came in and played after the injury.
The only chance they had to win the division was if the Cowboys lost to the Redskins.
So there was no reason. The Redskins. What year is this?
Hey, man, I'm old school. But yeah, I mean, the Cowboys blew them out. So I think they knew. They were looking at the scoreboard and saying, why do we have our stars in there with injuries? Let's pull them. But they looked bad even the week before against the Cardinals. I mean, the Eagles haven't looked good for a while. I hear a lot of people saying, did the Niners break the Eagles? Because the Eagles were 10-1. And then as soon as we play them, they lose 5 out of the next 6.
So what happened? Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, what if the Bucks? What if they play a tough? I don't know. Just the way they've been playing, I was like surprised you guys both were like the Bucks. I'm like, I don't know. The Eagles aren't playing very well right now. Like they might be an easy win
because the Bucks fucking suck. They won that division by default because that division sucks.
I got you.
Yes, I will take Baker Mayfield bringing the Bucks to Santa
Clara.
Let
our defense add him.
All day. The Bucks would be my number one if I could. Well, no, the Packers. But if I can get the Bucks, either one, I'd be fine with either.
Since we can't play Pittsburgh. Yeah, I agree with that ranking.
Hey, these are questions that have to be asked. They have to be asked. All right. Well, Eagles, Bucks. I mean, you guys both just kind of broke it down for us. So
we picked. That's who we wanted to play.
No, if they're healthy,
who do you think will win, Nate?
Yeah, as I'm saying, Eagles Bucks right now. Who's going to win that game? I mean,
we
don't know who's healthy on the Eagles right now yet, right?
I will preface this by saying that in my I did a parlay a couple of days ago, and I included all 6 playoff games. And in my parlay, I put the Eagles because I feel like they have the best chance of not blowing up my parlay on Monday night. But when I bet the money line, when I'm just doing the one game, I'm probably going to be putting my money on the Bucks because I really feel like the Bucks have a chance to upset here with all those Eagles injuries and how bad they've been playing. I'm going to pick the Bucks.
All right, but the Bucks. He's picking the Bucks. Matt,
you're up, man. I'm looking up. All
right, I'm gonna. I honestly, with the way the Eagles have been playing, and after last week and the injuries and getting fucking just smoked last week, I think a healthy Bucks team could come in there and give them a trouble. You know what I mean? Like I don't see why not. I think if the injuries weren't there, I think I'd go obviously with the Eagles because they're a better team and Jalen Hurts is a better quarterback, much better quarterback. But you never know. It could be sneaky. Bucks could be sneaky.
You both got the Bucks, huh?
Yeah, I think I'll take the Bucks.
Okay, so I was just looking to see what the receivers were doing. They're still saying AJ Brown from 2 days ago, minor knee injury, should be okay, but probably not 100%.
Did they say anything about Jalen Hurts' hand? Because if he's not hurt,
well, no, he said he came in and played and looked fine afterwards. I'm not thinking his hand injury is anything to worry about.
I might change my mind if he's not hurt.
You looked that up.
I think he's playing, Ben.
Look that up. So Devontae Smith, they're also saying should be back. Devontae Smith, ankle injury. DeAndre Swift, why was he out last week? Coach's choice, or was there an injury he's dealing with?
I believe that was a coach's choice.
Coach's choice. That's how I had it too. Okay, so all day long, all weekend, I was thinking that I'd take the Bucks here, because that's who I want to play. If I'm gonna take the Eagles, it's the Bucks, man. It's Baker Mayfield.
Yeah,
How
you
can
know what,
Jalen
dude?
Hurts not find a way to beat him?
I'm looking it up right now. X-rays showed no fracture in the finger. He's viewed day to day. It's injury on his throwing hand, but I think if he's healthy, if he's not hurt, if Hurts not hurt, which I thought he was, then the Eagles probably have a better chance. I think I'll take the Eagles.
Okay, so check this out. Let's do a quick recap, and I think it's pretty funny here.
No.
It's pretty funny because we all went pretty chalky, but we each got one lone wolf situation. You know the lone wolf that they do on NFL Network?
Yeah.
We all took the Browns, right? But Matt is lone wolf in the Dolphins over the Chiefs.
Yep.
We all took the Bills. We all took the Cowboys. Ben is lone wolf in the Lions.
Yeah,
The
baby.
Rams. And then I am lone wolf in the Bucks versus the Eagles. So we each have one lone wolf situation going on here.
Yeah, I think that works out nicely.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, dude.
So I took two underdogs. How many of you guys got?
I got the Rams and the Bucks.
Rams and the Bucks. Yeah, I got Rams and Dolphins. Bills, Cowboys, Browns. Yeah, okay. All right.
I think
we're pretty
Ben went
We're
chalk.
pretty chalky. Ben went
I
all
went
chalk.
chalk.
Yeah, you
What are
picked
you
all
gonna do?
favorites. You picked all favorites.
Hey,
Yeah.
they're favorites for a reason. You know what I mean? Guys will win a lot of money doing that.
I like it.
When was the
All right.
last time that all 6 favorites came out of Wild Card Weekend victorious? I can't think of a single time that's happened. So there's
No.
going to be an upset. It's just a matter
For
of who
sure.
it's going to be.
Wow, that'd be fun to pick. Which the upset of the week?
We just did.
Yeah.
We just did.
Matt and I just picked 2 each.
You would have had fun doing it, Ben. You should have tried it.
Damn it! I missed out. Whole segment gone. I missed out on my chance. Well, should you? According to Nate's rundown, in this free flow show that we were supposed to be having, are we going to talk about? No, I'm just joking with Nate. Are we going to talk Super Bowl here, boys, or what?
Well, I just thought it'd be fun to plant our flag right now. And I know
Yeah.
we're all Niner fans, really. So I have a feeling we're all going to pick the Niners in the NFC. But I think, planting our flag and picking the Super Bowl would be kind of fun.
Why
right
not?
now.
Why not?
Do
Yeah,
it.
why not?
Do
Fuck it, right?
So who you taking, Matt?
All right, so I'm firmly on the script of the NFL, and I brought it up before. Well, I don't remember if I talked about it in this podcast, but I brought it up to friends. Maybe not you two, but other friends. No,
Wait, you have other friends?
I'm with the logo, the colors of the logo for
Yeah.
the Super Bowl. It's been right like 4 or 5 years in a row. The 2 colors that are in the Super Bowl logo are purple and red.
So it's going to be
the
Cardinals
last-
Vikings.
Huh?
Cardinals Vikings is what you're saying.
That's what Ben would predict, or mid-season, I think. Yes, but no, I'm 100%. I'm thinking the top dogs are there. I'm sticking with the logo. I'm saying it's us getting revenge on Baltimore. I gotta beat those fuckers, dude. They yeah, you got to beat them.
Yeah, I mean that's as chalk as it gets. The 2 number 1 seeds, which happens more often than it happens more often than other things. But
Home field matters, man.
Home field matters. The week of rest matters. So I could definitely see that happening. Listen, when I was a kid, my favorite personality on TV was Chris Berman. We didn't have a lot of options back then. When we first got ESPN, and I would watch all the football highlights. That was my favorite part of the week.
Back.
This was before the NFL Red Zone. This is before we could see all the games. You counted on Berman to break it down for you, right?
Yep.
You'd watch all the highlights.
Oh,
And
yeah.
Berman would make Super Bowl predictions every year. And every year he would predict the same 2 teams. Every
Yeah.
year, Chris Berman would
Swami.
say that
Yeah.
his prediction for the Super Bowl was going to be the 49ers and the Buffalo Bills were going to be circling the wagons. And it's never happened, but I think this is the year. I think the Buffalo Bills versus the 49ers is my prediction for the Super Bowl.
I'm pretty
What?
sure I predicted that at the beginning of the season. If we could go back, you have the
did.
notes.
No,
Nate?
you did 100%.
Yeah, I think you did.
Yeah, that was my prediction at the beginning of the season, and
Yep.
I'm just gonna stick. I think I'm gonna stick with it.
Oh,
Yeah, why not? Right? I mean, I don't see why not. Josh Allen. I think I'm gonna stick with it. I mean,
nice.
I know it's not fun, Nate. I apologize, but
No, it's
that's
great.
who I predicted at the beginning of the season. I think that's who I'm gonna roll with.
Nice.
That would be a lot
Nice.
more
Yeah.
fun, to be honest with you. In my opinion, it would be a lot more fun of a Super Bowl than the Ravens, only because of the style of play that the Bills play. You know,
Yeah.
they're so dangerous on offense, but they give up so many points on defense. They match up really nice against the 49ers. I think that would be a real shootout and a lot of fun to watch. The Ravens, we've seen that. And yeah, maybe I'm a little bit scared as a 49er fan that watched my team, get worked by the Ravens a few weeks ago. But that Ravens defense is legit.
Oh my gosh.
Let's see what they think.
Professionals.
Stupid phone. I forgot to turn it off. What would have to happen to get them there? So Bills beat Steel. Well, we can't really play it out, right? Because they have a bye
No,
this
you,
week.
you can. The Bills are the number 2 seed. So the only way the Bills are going to face the Ravens is if they go to the AFC Championship game against them, and that would be in Baltimore. I think a better scenario that you're going to see would be somebody else knocking off the Ravens, like maybe the Browns could knock off the
Browns.
Ravens,
That'd be my pick.
and then somebody like Josh Allen, has a chance he could beat the Bills, or somebody like the Chiefs. If they end up playing the Ravens, I could see Pat Mahomes upsetting Lamar Jackson, and then the AFC Championship game, Josh Allen beats Mahomes, right? So
Yeah.
there is a path towards it.
Okay.
Okay, Ben, what's the one team? If there's one team you say, if we could take them out of the playoffs, I feel better about the Niners this year. Who is it?
I'm always going to say the Rams, dude.
I knew it.
They're the team. They're the team that beat us the last time we were closest to getting there. You know what I mean? And we you know what I mean? Like,
Well, the Eagles.
I don't.
The Eagles
What?
beat us. The Eagles beat us last
Eagles
year.
beat us.
It was the Rams
Oh.
2 years ago. Yeah.
I'm
And
sorry,
fucking
2 years
Baltimore
ago.
beat us in the Super Bowl.
Mhm.
Nate, what's your pick?
I hate to say it, but the Cowboys scare me the most.
Fuck, I hate hearing both those answers.
You said that. You said that earlier. Yeah. I mean.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Yep.
it's just, dude, I watch these Cowboy games, and it's like they make it look so easy on offense. And yes, we destroyed the Cowboys early this year, but it feels like a different Cowboys team. It really does. CeeDee Lamb seems like he's taking that next level, and that team does scare me a bit
I'm
right now.
banking on they can't play on the road.
I'm thinking
Yeah.
the Rams. I think the Rams game.
That's a big thing.
Yeah, I agree. I'm thinking the Rams game always sticks in my brain because it was like just fucking one interception away, man, and we were going to the Super Bowl. You know what I mean? Like that's why that.
And we were
last
there. We were at the game.
Yeah.
That happened. Yeah.
That's true.
That's
that was
cool.
a dropped interception, if you remember. I mean, that would have ended the game. He,
That's what I'm
bounced right off his
saying.
chest. Yeah.
That's what I mean. One interception away. If we would have just caught that goddamn ball, it would have been over. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah. Well, listen, I said this in our 49er thread. I'll say it again on this pod. One of my bucket list items is to be live in person when my team wins the NFC Championship and goes to the Super Bowl. I've only been to one NFC Championship. That was 2 years ago against the Rams. I thought that was going to be the year that I would get to do that with my buddies. We were all there. Portia and Sean and Ben, you were there. And they came short, just like we just talked about. And so I'm thankful to have another opportunity. Like Matt said on last week's pod, you never know how many more summers you're going to get. You never know how many more football seasons you're going to get. And that was legitimately my selling point to my wife when I told her I was buying expensive tickets and flying, to go watch the Niner game, is that I don't know how many more times the Niners are going to be there. And if I get a chance to see them win an NFC Championship game and do it on their home field, in San Francisco and celebrate with 49er fans, that would legitimately be, probably my greatest sports moment of my life up until that point. So I'm hoping that.
Yeah. I mean, minus the 2002 World Series that we celebrated together in my apartment. That was pretty special.
That's up there. Yeah,
I feel
that one.
very proud that I helped you craft that argument to your wife. Yeah. That's wonderful, man. I feel very proud, dude. That's cool.
Hey, listen, it wasn't an easy sell because I'm leaving her with the kids all week next week while I'm in Puerto Rico, and then I'm asking her to do it again, for another night. And Ben, that's probably in my top 3, that Angels game, but I didn't have as much history with the Angels at that point. My number one right now is the Niners Super Bowl, and really, it's not even the Niners Super Bowl against the Rams. It's the Niners NFC Championship game when they beat the Cowboys that year in 1994. They beat the Cowboys. That's probably my biggest and fondest memory as a sports fan was that game. Yeah, they went on and beat the Chargers in the Super Bowl, and that was fun. But that game finally beating the Cowboys And so, I think this would even be better because it's been so long since the Niners have been there. So
I think the big takeaway is life is short, guys. So go out. I don't know why I hit that button. That was not what I meant to hit.
Alert! Alert! Emergency pod! Life is short! Emergency pod!
So take a shot of tequila.
Right? Take advantage. All right, guys. That's it, man. I'm wrapping it. We're wrapping, dude. This is it. This is our first episode and maybe last, who knows, of To the Whistle.
No whistles!
Through the whistle.
Through the whistle. I love you guys. Thanks for being here. This was fun, and we'll do more of these because I really had a good time.
Yep.
You guys need more alcohol in you, though. You need to loosen up a little bit. Loosen up. Have some fun.
Really? I put it in a pink cup so you wouldn't think it was alcohol. It worked.
Play that sound again. There we go.
All right, guys. See you later.